All kinds of tour winners. Lots of work done over the weekend because of the snow. New reviews coming and a whole lot of discussion. Let's get on with this one on What's in My Drawers Golf Talk. Welcome back to What's in My Drawers Golf Talk. Why is it What's in My Drawers? Because old club makers, club fitters are tremendous pack rats, and it was what was in my drawer. And that turned into a real neat historical discussion on old stuff, and now it's turned into a discussion of golf fittings, golf repairs, golf equipment from around the world. And our community, I think, is top notch. Enough people get in there and from around the world, to be honest with you. And so I think it's a pretty good setup, and I thank you guys for joining me. All righty, so let's get started. Let's start with the tours this time around, shall we? The Public Investment Fund from Saudi International. I say this because I figured this guy would win eventually. Harold Varner III, huh? That's on the Asian tour. He did pretty good right there. The LPGA. L. McGuire, Lexi Thompson came in first and second at -18, -15, respectively. Lexi shot a -7. Miss McGuire shot a -5. And then, last but not least, if I could figure out how to make this go. Here we go. AT&T. Everybody watch that one. This is the first tournament I've got to watch more than one round. It was, and I thought maybe it'd be entertaining from a see all the stars and that kind of thing. And we saw a few. I saw Bill Murray do the backhanded putt and put it into the hole like he knew what he was doing. That was outstanding. And Clay Walker was on there. Thumbs up to that man. Fighting MS, country western singer of more of a traditional sense. And we fit him. And that was pretty cool because he was a Titleist guy, and I threw him into some Callaway. That was neat. However, the winner, Pebble Beach Pro-Am, Hoagie, right? I watched him play. He was hitting some pretty fine shots there towards the end. Not everybody played a perfect round, but he did very, very well. Jordan Spieth came in second, and at two back, and Bo Hostler at 16. So the one guy I was really interested in watching was Seamus Powers. On Tuesday, that man could do no wrong. And on Friday, he could do no wrong. Saturday and Sunday, not so much. But I like him for it. All right. So today in the mail, I got this. How about that? Super soft. And I open it up, and I'm like, well, I didn't order any super softs. And I get this. And it says, let's see if I can get the focus. Let's see your scores go low, McGolf. And I don't know who sent these, but thank you. That is very, very cool. The packaging on this thing is sharp, right? Very, very sharp. There is a name on the side here, a Jacob Savoy. And that's the only indicator that I can find. So, Jacob, if this was you, thank you so very much. I will certainly be putting one into my golf ball collection, and then I'll try and proceed to lose the rest. But thank you very much. Okay, what else did we do? If you guys didn't know, Snowmageddon hit the Midwest or the Ohio Valley area, and although that was just a small sampling of it, that was the beginning of it. Down in this neck of the woods, we're on the backside of the Appalachian Mountain, and so large accumulations of snow normally don't occur here. Where you see people get 2 foot of snow. That happens once in a blue moon here. However, what does happen here regularly is that we get a lot of rain, or we'll get a lot of rain and it'll freeze, and then that snow will be on there. What am I doing here? Okay. And so what you see here, although it doesn't look like a lot of snow, there's about a 1/2 inch sheet of ice underneath there. So that's what we get to contend with. So it is what it is. So what did that spur on? Well, that spurred on a lot, right? A lot. Here's a set. Oop, wrong set. Another wrong set. I got a set, a very similar set just like that. There's the shafts. They were actually Strixons. I must have done another set. So we'll go with this. Anyway, they were Strixon ZX5s, and they went to California. And same setup. I mean, identical except for the head. And he works for the military and does more with the Marines, so he wanted a Marine red. And they turned out very, very, very nice. So we did that one. And let me get down here. Here is a full set, and this one's going to Quebec, and they used Tachymac. Now, this picture looks like that's gray and that's black, and kid yourself not. That all that is lighting. These are all exactly the same color, which was the black, and they were very tacky, just like the name would allow. You see the steel shafts that they're setting on. They were for. Let me make sure I can get them. You know, I try and bring all these in, and sometimes they just don't show up. That's them. Yep, the Titleist T100s with a ping, 425, and he sent them to me. One of the long, half-inch long, at a certain flex. He even sent me a flex profile, of which I did make but he wanted the swing weights to start like a 1 and go up at a half-inch, or it'd be 1, 1.5 in the middle, 2. Yep, they're all 3. Every last one of them is the same. Why is that? Well, it's because the heads were weighed out just right, and the shafts actually. He sent me an extra shaft, and there was one that was out of weight, out of the sequence of weight. It was really heavy, so I pulled that one out, and they all turned out really good. So I'm happy with that. And then the other half of it was this: we had a ping, a TaylorMade, and a Titleist. If that's not a combo set, I don't know what is. And we just reshafted the 425 with the shaft that he provided, and that turned out pretty good. Then the TaylorMade here in the middle, he wanted a different shaft in it, and I will say that the inside of that thing was boogered up pretty good. I'm not sure what it was, but I had to keep cleaning in order to get so that the shaft would actually insert, because when I first put it in there, it only go about this far, and it needed to go about that far. And the more I kept looking down there, I couldn't find it. Well, then I had to break out a tool I've hardly used, but it was good for this one. It was a Dremel tool with like a grinding, a cylinder-like grinding wheel, and I went in there and I hit it, and it was a ledge, and it was a ledge in there, and it was a ledge of leftover shaft and epoxy. So I got it out. That took a bit, but we got that in there. So that guy turned out okay. And then the hybrid, he sent me a couple of ferrules that even Mrs. McGolf would not approve of, and she's the fashion police, and if I'm okay with it, it must be bad. And I didn't like this one at all, so I put a size appropriate hybrid on there, on the hybrid, and then what we did back on this guy on the ping, if you look at that ferrule right at the very top, that's a special ferrule just like the PXGs use, and I had to put one of those on. Came out super. Looks just like an original now, and that was what I was shooting for. All right. Oh, what else did we do? There was one more I really, really, really wanted to show you. Give me a second here. Let me find them. It should be. There they are. And there they are, and there they are. So let's download these two guys and see what happens there. And these were two that came out of, I think they came out of Canada. Robin will help me here in a moment. Surprisingly enough, they are really nice looking. I always have my doubts about, when putter companies add on, and these guys did a heck of a job. I'm going to give them a big thumbs up. Bettinardi. And if you look, they're two different kinds. All right, one was a little bit wider sole, and the other one had a little bit more relief on it. But it's got a really nice high toe shape. The honeycombing on the back is really cool. The sole had a.
You showed these last week.
Did I?
Ohio, not Vernon.
Ohio, there it is. Well, then we're going to go with the green one. So they're gone now. I thought I did those, and then we had another driver going to Georgia, and it was a Ping LST, and we put in a hazardous black. That was a setup, dude. That you better come around on that ball. I'm telling you, that was a good one. And then we did another repeat of the newer T100s with the steel fiber shafts and the Z-cord grips, but these were new Z-cord grips. And pro tip on this one, if you're looking for Z-cord grips, you better get them now. It looks like that's going to be a really, really hard one to find. It looks like it's late March, mid-April type thing. So you might want to get that while you're thinking about it now. So there was the build. So that ended up making us look like... Oh, what did it look like? Well, it looks like this. Nothing. Nada. Zilch. And there's a set waiting on a set of heads. So the shop is empty. The shop is empty. I'm just shocked and amazed. However, when I walked in the door today, I was greeted with this. Bunch of Callaways on board. That's Mizuno there in that little bitty box. And I undid a couple of boxes, so I wanted to show you this. I don't think we're under embargo. If I am, I get in trouble. What am I going to do? Get in trouble for showing you some putters? So anyway, as everybody knows, this is there we go, the OG, right? The number 7 OG. All right, there we go. Everybody knows this one. But I think this one's going to get a little bit of love. Does anybody recognize this one? You say, well, Jim, that's the regular one. And you go, I would have to say, no, it is not. And you're going to have to say, well, show me. And I will. Boom. There you go. This is the 7 mini, where this is the 7 regular. How about that, huh? Virtually the same thing in every dimension, or the same look in every way, just smaller. Comes with a Stroke Lab grip, and the either mid or standard pistol. So that was pretty cool. And there's a lot coming, but I'm going to be doing a lot of putter testing this time around. Yeah, I know I said that last year, but this time I'm really going to do it. This one, Try Hot. This is the double wide, and there's a triple wide out there. So if you guys like, and I just saw some really cool videoing on it, that it's called Try Hot 5K. And why is it called 5K? Because that's the reading of the MOI. It was just above 5,000. So what we have here is 2 weights that are adjustable. You have a lot of weight sitting here. There's some more weights that are placed on the outside of here, and then this cap goes on the back. And then it has the OG lining on it, and the face, and then it has the very, very cool. I like this red. I just like this red, the red Stroke Lab, and then this one comes with a Try Hot, a black Try Hot grip. And from all I've seen so far, for lack of a better term, it's a blade that's going to play like a mallet. Now, is it still going to swing? Yeah, but one of the things with a mallet is the forgiveness, the wideness on the mallet. From when you're out on the toe or into the heel, it doesn't give as much because it's bigger and there's more weight in the heel and the toe, and so it doesn't want to give nearly as much. That's kind of where they're going with this. Now, that's what they're saying. We'll cover it more in reviews here in a little while. So there was going with that. And reviews coming up. I got these. So we're going to do, there's the triple diamond LS, and then there's the Max D, and then I got an LS and I got a Max. So I'm going to do 2 reviews here, and because reviewing all 4 clubs not only takes up a lot of time and it get boring because it's one after the other after the other after the other, is that I'm going to compare the Max D, and the LS and the LS triple diamond, and we're going to see how that works out. And I think that works because the Max is the right down the middle club. The Max D is for the draw bias. The Max LS is the open, and that's the one I'm playing. And then the triple diamond LS. And so from what I've told is you can't miss the face on this one. So the 2 good comparisons with a plethora. See if I can get them before they all fall over. There goes one. With a plethora of golf shafts. All right. A plethora of golf shafts to choose from. So we're a lot of measuring to do, a lot of hitting to do, a lot of putting to do, and I do have the new Capto, so that's going to have some more stuff in it. Right? Look at that. You can actually see the thing I'm looking at. You're going to see some of that. So there's all that. Oh, a little coolness factor, right? Here's the Tri-Hot. The Tri-Hot with the I just think this is neat. And it's a magnet there. And I did get some 11s in, if you're interested in that. I did get some 11s in, and that's what it comes like, right? And again, the magnet. So there it is. So there's more news coming on putters, but until it happens, I'll just keep it to myself. Okay. So we got a lot of work accomplished. Everybody's been taken care of since we got back from the PGA show. Oh, one more thing here to show you kind of there's the beginning. I know I've shown you, but that collection has grown significantly. So we've got that one. Let's see if I missed any. Nope. Oh, and for those of you asked me about those, I've had 2 or 3 guys ask me about the chairs. Oh yes, they will be mine. And we got a white one and a green one coming. So hoorah. Okay. So okay, thank you for ever sending me the golf balls. We've got it all taken care of. Now it's a matter, let's go talk to the folks. 76 comments already. You guys are outstanding. Let's get with Matt. Matt, going to post early because he's going to be at the daughter's basketball game. Good for him. How many fittings do you do complete in the winter? Do the numbers go down not because of swinging? Well, Matt, what happens is that typically for us here in Ohio, what'll happen is that right around October timeframe, the fittings typically, I'll say typically, start to lower because out here, this is huge deer country, and people start, practicing bow and rifle and shotgun and musket out here in order to get ready for deer season. Come November, it's getting too cold, and when people get inside, they rarely think about getting fit. Come December time frame, it's really, really cold, and we're done. And however, this year is totally off the charts. We never slowed down. It was just like it was in the summertime. Every Friday, Saturday, so a couple days during the week, and we were probably doing, if we count each individual fitting as a fitting, I'm going to say we were doing somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 a week, so not too bad. I mean, that's a really, really good. And that's thanks to you guys, right, from coming up here and getting fit. So, and the only reason why and it's carrying forward, right? We were full up in January, except for when we were down south in Florida. We came back and we were full up in February, and then Snowmageddon hit, so we slowed down on that, but we're picking them back up. And here in February, we're going back on vacation down to Gulf Shores. And so that week is ours, and we come back, we're already scheduling into March. So yeah, this has been great. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's fantastic. All right. David, what do you say, sir? Hope you recover from the PGA show. You know what, David? I will. I this last time getting back was a little bit tougher than most. I think it was the drive, to be honest with you. I didn't think I thought I'd recover a lot better, but yeah, we're back to it now. All right, what did you see that you'd most like to put in your workshop other than the chairs? I saw the chairs. If you saw, you're closer over there. That Club OG or Club OG. That was the $80,000 man cave that you can put on your back porch. Uh, However, and it was very cool, I do have to admit, if you like a pub atmosphere. Uh, as far as something to go in the shop from a tool, there really wasn't anything there for that. The normally golf mechanic is there. He went there a couple years in a row and then decided it wasn't worth it. And that's a business decision. GolfWorks has helped him out every once in a while, and they've stopped coming. Golfsmith stopped coming, and but I do think there's an opening for something along that lines. And but as far as that goes, that was it. Now we did talk to Graphite Design, of which they are coming. We talked to Nippon, which I already have. So there's a good one. The one thing I think I am bringing in the shop is we're getting an air gun. I'm going to try this air grip thing since I have a pancake compressor now. Just for the seeing, I doubt it'll ever replace what I normally do, but it's something to try so I can better forward it on to you guys for information. Mr. Joe Broderick, how are you, sir? My question for you today is, when did shaft manufacturers go from single profile shaft to one with different bend profiles in the tip, middle, and the butt? Okay. Well, like in most cases, Joe, I would imagine they were probably being done. Nobody was telling anybody about it. But from a commercial standpoint, if we're talking about where shafts are, we give you this one style of shaft, it goes all the way through the set, and voila, you're done. To the tall ones hit a little lower and a little harder. The middle ones are your normal ones, and the lower ones hit higher and softer, that kind. We call that a flighted set. All right, a flighted set. And a flighted set actually came out with Rifle, the original Rifle, when Rifle was in Connecticut with Kim Braley Sr. and Kim Braley Jr., or Kim Braley. He was the physicist. Is he a physicist? Yes. He was a doctor in the physical science. And he came up with rifle shaft and frequency matching. And then later on down the line, they came up with what they call flighted shafts. And I would have to say that's probably been, I was taking one of my courses when they were starting to do that. I'm going to say early 2000s. So it's been upwards of 18 years, I'm going to say. Something along that lines, and then people have just been copying it in their own way. Danny, sir, how are you? Hi, it was on Callaway Pre-Owned website. When I last bought my MD3s, they listed the shaft flex as wedge, and yes, they will, which I bought. Now looking at the new jaws, the shaft flex is listed as an S200. Okay, Danny, they're pretty much the same thing. What they did with the wedge flex is they took the 200. If you look on the thing, it'll probably say tour issue or something along that lines, and it's basically the 200. And they basically trimmed it. They took, just like we were talking on last time about trying to make a spinner shaft. That was what they were doing. I asked Mr. Cleveland about that very thing, and yes, that's what they were doing. They were taking the upper weighted or the higher flex and trim it to an 8 iron and putting it in there. That was from a true temper point of view. That's what they were doing. All right. Stiff X300, stiff, which is all say stiff. Which of those will work for me? And what is the difference? 200, 300, 400 at 75 mile an hour swing speed. Okay, Danny, I'm not being a butt when I say this, but if you're a 75 mile an hour iron swing speed, none. Okay. All these S's mean stiff. And if you're swinging at 75, you probably need an R. Okay. And the 200, the 300, and the 400 all it is about weight sorting. All right. And this is from the mouth of the guy. Uh, 200, 300, 400 are all about weight sorting. And as you get smaller, so when I buy a set of, let's go this way. When I buy a set of 8 shafts and I get S300s, from the first shaft to the last shaft, there'll be a gap. They won't all be the same weight. They hardly ever are. But in that one, it might be, let's just throw out a number, 4 grams difference. All right, from the top to the bottom, there might be 4 grams difference. And the 400 or 200, which way it goes, and I believe it's the 200. Anyway, the weight differences get narrower. Okay, like X100s. All right, they all get narrower. The weight, so instead of being 4 grams, it may only be 3 grams. It might only be 2 grams, and that's virtually the difference. So if you get one shaft in any of that stuff, it's the weight's going to be around 125, between 124 and 127, and it can be, and that's 125 is the number. These guys are, I'm saying all this, these guys are typically pretty good, but manufacturing's manufacturing things the way they are is that you got to give them a tolerance, and 125 is the goal. But if you go 123 to 127, I'd say you are making one heck of a shaft. When you get out to 130 or down to 120, not so much. And it's either going to play really, really stiff or really, really light. And so you have to weigh them before you build them. But that's what I'm saying, Danny. All right, David. If you could share your insights on why an OEM built a set of AMT shafts with approximately 10 CPM difference, no grips, club to club, from 4 iron to 9.5 inch increments seems odd. If you're talking about why would an OEM build a set of AMT shafts with approximately 10 CPM difference, no grips, okay, club to club, 4 to 9. So if you're talking 10 CPMs from club to club, that's a lot. That's well, yeah, because I'm looking at around a 4 to 5, right? Because every half inch. So, and an entire flex would be 1 CPM. So you're talking about, if you come down a half of an inch, that would be half of those. So these things are at a half of a flex each way down. Now, ascending mass technology, which is AMT, meaning that you're going to put more weight in there, could cause the stiffness to go up. And I have seen that happen. In order to do that, in order for that to happen, so light to heavy, and with that, it's causing it to get stiffer because more mass is going to make it stiffer in a lot of cases. And that's where, and you wouldn't be wrong to think it seems odd. So hopefully what you ran into was at the top, it was kind of light, maybe under what you were looking for. And when you got down to the pitching wedge, it was way over. And that's by design. Okay, that is by design. Mike Pett from Buffalo. Exciting news. All right. Starting a 6-month coaching program with my local pro using fun technology. Fun technology? Okay. TrackMan, KVS, Sam Lab. Can't wait to see where this takes my game. Oh, so you're being taught. I didn't know if you were going to go be part of the coaching program. Nice. TrackMan's very, very efficient. I will say that the radar unit, no matter whether it's TrackMan or Flight Scope, you'll see a lot of guys that, I don't like that indoors. And that's because a lot of lights that they use to light up large areas are fluorescents. And there is a way that you can knock down the issue that a lot of the radar units have done. I've done it here. if he mentions something like that, give me a call. The K vest is kind of cool. I was around. I saw when they first showed up at the show, and they had that thing on there. Man, it was neat. It really was. It gets to show you what you're doing. If nothing else, I don't know what kind of. It's a teaching tool, and it shows you what the difference between what you feel and what you're doing. Right, between what you feel and what you're doing. This thing those things are great for something like that because you may be feeling like you're making a turn or you're lifting up or you're holding in tight, whatever, and you're not. Or you're in some of those things that have those little weight transfer mats, and you think you're doing it and you're not. And it's an eye opener. And when you finally commit, it's really neat. The Sam Lab, I've never been a fan. They do have now. I will give them credit. Their graphics is as outstanding. The stuff that they measure is outstanding. The gobbledygook that you got to throw on there at the bottom or swing in front of. I've just never been a fan. Now, is it to say that it's not accurate? No, it is right on. It's just the way it's an appearance thing for me. Not that it's bad. It's just an appearance thing. But good. I'm glad that it's working out. I expect to hear some really low numbers now. Kent, how are you, sir? Work is getting in the way of me watching these. I need to work. Yes, both. Don't we both? I could retire at least once. That would be awesome. What are we? Uh-oh.
Can you,
Uh-oh. I'm getting a question.
can that be repaired?
Ooh wee.
That's the guy from Foley, Alabama that I told you about. And I
Can
forgot.
that be repaired? That looks like the post. I'm being asked if this can be repaired. Let's see if we can show this. This way. There it is. Look at that thing.
And he asked last month, and I just didn't get.
Oh, if that is a post, the answer is no. At least not here. If it's not a post, then yeah, I think we can take it out. I wouldn't touch it either if I was Titleist. All right. Jack, hello from Lombard. What do you say, buddy? What is the typical shaft length for a fairway metals and hybrids if you're playing a 44.5-inch driver? Well, Jack, you're asking me one of those it depends kind of questions again. Typically, I would say 43 would be the 3, 42 the 5, 41 the 7. And that's where you start getting to the top end of hybrids, right? 40.5 or 40, and then moving down in the half-inch increments from 3, 4, and on the way down. At 44.5, you'd be surprised that you can get away with standard hybrid length. However, anywhere from standard to maybe just a half-inch under. Fairway woods, you'll find that fairway woods are running around 43.5, 42.5, 3 and 5 respectively. Then yes, I would cut them down a half of an inch. But I would be in that 43, and then I would do the 43 for a bit and then choke down just ever so slightly, because it's always easier to take it off than it is to put it on, right? Guy McClellan, how are you? Can you sand down a C-taper X flex tip to fit a taper head? No. The C-taper is a steel shaft, and there's just not enough meat on it. Now, if it was a graphite shaft, you'd probably be able to get away with it, but not steel, no. All right, how is your component supply chain? David, that's a good one. We've been told no FSTs, some LBS, no Apollo shafts for the whole of 22, and they are not lying, sir. Also, Golf Pride has dropped more than 50% of their grips for 22. No, I don't know about that one, but there is a significant. They are dropping. It's all a numbers game, and they're looking at their ones that you would find that they didn't sell a lot of. They're gone in order to keep the grips flowing in order for the ones that they know are going to be big sellers. If you notice, nobody's really come out with a new grip, right? Nobody's come out with a new grip. I've not seen one. In fact, that they're, the MCC4 pluses were a really big hit. The MCC4s, not so much. Now that's here. I think you'll see a lot of white grips go away because white grips are actually harder to make. But that's what I'm seeing right now. But we are seeing. But I did know FST is that they're done for the year in order to concentrate on making KBS shafts. And the Apollos I've not heard of. We don't deal with them too much over here, but I can imagine that's what it would be. And they're all basically what it comes right down to, David, is let's say if you're paying $15 for a shaft from FST, in order to get that same shaft right now, it would more likely cost you double. And they know that they won't be able to do that based on the previous pricing. So it is better to concentrate on the stuff that they know they're going to sell, KBS, and keep that ball rolling. Okay. Chris, what do you say, buddy? Ole Miss, we'll go. After watching videos, ordered a couple of pure grips to try. I'm guessing it's okay to put on some build-up tape or blues painter tape underneath. You are correct, sir, it is. I'm going to try in my own air gun for now. Yeah, there you go. I will say the pure grip, the star grip, they're both made out of the same rubber. They both have some very long-lasting qualities. But I would recommend still cleaning them. Right? I recommend cleaning every grip. The pure or the star, I think, will react even better when you clean them off. If you like that tackiness without having an aggressive texture, you'll like it when you cut it when you clean them. All right. Said the many golf courses are being sold for new housing developments. Demand for tee times will only increase green fees for sure. Kurt, I think I saw somewhere on, what was it, NGF when we were at the PGA show that this year was the first time in many years that there wasn't a decline in golf courses. It doesn't mean that a lot of them weren't shut down. It's just that the ones that are being shut down are not overpowering the ones that are being made. Okay, it's finally we've hit it. We've plateaued. And the thing is, with COVID and everybody getting outside, you're correct. The demand is going to go higher because there's more people out there playing. And if they catch on with the higher demand, that means the fees probably will go up. Maybe, but that's the business model, right? Okay. I normally use Petrino's rubber glue anyway, which allows me to blow them off and reuse. Chris, I wouldn't necessarily use that if it works for you, that's grand, but they're made to be used without that stuff. But hey, if it works, good. Mr. Charles, what do you say, sir? Apparently my buddy Bob is on. Arnie Sanchez, hoorah. Always look forward to the best part of my week. Well, thank you, bud. I don't know. Well, I can tell you. So it is verified Mrs. McGolf's foot is broke. All right. Her foot is broke. And it's if this is the foot, there's a little bitty bone that sticks out right about here. And when she rolled it, that snapped off and it's floating around in her foot. And we're going to go talk to a surgeon here tomorrow to check out the options to get it done. And so that's where we're at. Although I do have to say, it was a choice. Get the foot fixed or go on vacation. I'll let you decide which one she chose. Oh, and we'll go from here. We'll do a couple of things. We're in the middle of all this. Number 2, from Mrs. McGolf. You can put it down in the show notes. She'll like this one. She has notified me that next Monday is Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day. and she wants to know whether or not you think it would be a good idea to have this show on Valentine's Day. Just put it in the show notes. Huh? There you go. So there we are. All right, now back in the other stuff. If you would, like, subscribe, hit the bell on the bottom, so that way you get all the other videos when they come along. There is a boxes to build coming for tomorrow, and it is a neat one. I will say that. And I think it'll do pretty good. Okay. We got Advanced Dynamics Golf Center in Gilbert, Arizona. Well, that's freaking cool. Well, hello there, Advanced Golf Center. Thank you for joining us, man. There's Bob. How you doing? Got one more course to get a hold of, man. We got to figure out which ones that's going to be. Danny Freeman shot 75. Danny, that's awesome, dude. About 40 degrees. That's even more awesome. 34 on the back, kind of blew it on the, or 34 on the front, kind of blew it on the back. Dude, that's not bad at all. 40 degrees? Well done. Brendan, sir, how are you? How come, Jim, there are so many tour players using white hot putters, then premium two-lawn range, so many using the new Tri-Hot 5K? You know, I was looking at that, and I was, the funny part was I was actually quite surprised at the number of two-lawns that were actually in play. And there are quite a few, to be honest, there really is. And that Stroke Lab, if you notice, that Stroke Lab was everywhere. I mean, it was everywhere. Even Hoagie was using it, and he was carrying a Titleist cap. Now, the Tri-Hot, we'll see as the year goes on, right? Because professional golfers, including the guy that you got in your picture there, kind of are cyclic. And if they have a hot putter, they'll keep it. If they don't, it just goes into the corner and they get a new one. After extensive testing, of course. But the Tri-Hot, so you're gonna lead me in, Brendan. Very good for you, sir. So we use this guy, the Tri-Hot. There's a lot of MOI here, and what MOI means is moment of inertia, that bottom line resistance to twisting. So what's happening is, if you hit it good here, it's going to go X number of feet. Now with all that extra MOI, if you're out here or even in here, it's going to go very similarly, okay, if not the same. Therein lies the thing. Now, what I'm sure that they've done is, because Toulon is very, very sensitive to the tour, that there was a feel or something like that. That was the input for this, because they will not put it in play if they do not like it. And I'm sure, so this insert that's in there is probably a little more firm than, as opposed to soft. So it gives them the feedback that they're looking for. But as far as Tri-Hots go, and the Toulons, I just saw a head count, and they were virtually the same. Okay, they were virtually the same. Now, what you saw on TV just so happens the guys with the hot hand were probably using Tri-Hots. I mean, if we look at it, John Rahm is using the Rosie OG. So it really depends. It really, really does depend. DS, what do you say, man? Explain how I can carry a iron with 120 gram steel shaft feel light as a feather, while an iron with a 90 gram shaft feels like a sledgehammer. I have asked that very question, believe it or not. And what it is, it's a trick. Here's what Jim at McGolf has come to with a conclusion. Okay, so go the other way. All right. If you have a heavier shaft here, right? So your swing weight, right, or the way that the weight is distributed is more even along here, and it takes off a lot of the feel here, right? i.e., makes it feel feathery. Now you've lightened this, and now it's able to transmit that feel through the shaft. in order to make that go. And so because you've in the balance of the club, you got grip, shaft, head. If this doesn't change, and this doesn't change, and this is the only thing that changes, so what you've done is you've had this balance, and it's like this, right? And it's heavier so that the balance is a little bit better. Yes, the swing weight can be heavier, but it's more balanced. That's the best way for me to say it. And when you have the lighter one, it wants to tend to go like this, more towards the grip. Hence, you got all this head up here. And when you feel it, it's like, hey, why do I feel all that head? It's kind of a, I won't call it a trick, but when I ask mechanical engineers that kind of thing, I get well, that doesn't make sense. And you're in that same category as a lot of people. When the shaft gets lighter, they feel the head more. When the shaft gets heavier, they feel the head less. And it's because there's more in between you and the head. And that's probably the easiest way to describe it. There he is. What do you say, buddy? I'm going to put my head cover back on. What are your thoughts on the new Ventus TR? I'm really intrigued by it. For reference, I played the Ventus 6S last season. Also really like the Evenflow Black. Man, you are swinging. The tour is this. The TR is their thing for the tour, right? It's just if you went from the X, then if there was an X and then another model that was up above it, it would be the TR. So if you were truly controlling an X flex in the normal thing, then I'd stay. If you were losing it a little bit from a control perspective, then I would consider it. All right, Travis K. New Mizuno 225 is getting huge response. Big sales bump for Mizuno. Yeah. Mrs. McGolf is laughing even as we are discussing this. I have, in that box I showed you, are 3 sets of 225s that right now I believe all 3 of them are sold without even taking them out of the box yet. People have been fit, know what they want. People are coming and they know they want this one. It's just a matter of finding the right shaft. There we have it. All 3. I think it's going to be one heck of a club. I like it. It's a shorter blade length. It's got a little bit of it's got that blade look with a little more forgiveness because it is a hollow body and it's a little stronger. So you're hitting it further, more blade-like. It does kind of carry more towards the players than it does the average player, but I do believe if the average player is a good ball striker, they will tear this thing up. All right. Don't go long today. I have a fitting at 18:30. We will do our best, sir. Hello there, Dave from Michigan. There's Tim. How are you, sir? Good picture you have there. Pooey, what do you say? Hey, Jim and Robin checking in from Bude, Cornwall. How was the PGA? Can I ask if putters can be bent? Well, yeah. I have an Odyssey White Hot 2-ball with a double bend neck. Can it go flatter? Seems mine is toe up. And the answer is yes. So I will show you this. And we will use the Mini as an example. No, we can't because that's not what we want. Okay, well, we'll have to see. So there's here, I turn this thing off. Pooey, there's multiple ways, there's multiple necks. This one right here is an S neck or a slant neck, and certainly that one can be bent. All right. A new one is more of a slant style. See how much bigger it is? And that too can be bent. It's all big time metal. Now there is another one of which I don't have here. However, so if you imagine that this thing goes straight and just stays on top, goes straight in here and it stays on top, and there's a black ring sits right about here, right? What that means is a post, right? And it's a post that sticks out of the head like this, and the shaft goes over the head like that, and you can bend the post, no sweat. All right. If it goes all the way in and you don't see a black ring, that means that it is a shaft that is actually installed into the head, and that's going to be problematic. Can it be bent? Yes, but not like these other ones. You might get 1-2 degrees on it, maybe. Could you dent the club and get more? Yes, but why? And that's where I would go. James Hodge, how you doing, sir? All right. David Hanner, if my 5-iron is 63-degree lie and it's replaced with a 5 hybrid the same length, what lie for the hybrid existing 65? Yeehaw. Well, 60, David, so 63 is pretty upright. And hybrids, by design, the most of them are upright. There are some pro models that tend to go flatter. If it's the exact same length and you're hitting the 63 well, then logic would dictate that you want to be 63 degrees. Now, that being said, before you go bending anything, do a little bit of a test. Throw some, if you can, if you're go anywhere, throw some masking tape, electrical tape on the sole, and go out and hit off, and just take a couple of, so go stand on a piece of plywood or something from a home remedy kind of setup, and just swing and hit the board, and then see where. I'm going to use this thing again, and see where you're hitting. Okay, at 63. All right, so let's just say this is 63. Now you're at 61. All right, so you're a little flatter, which means that you would be hitting here more towards the heel, and making it go upright would bring you forward. All right, so if you're hitting in the center, leave it alone, because it could be a weight or a flex that's not bending, because lie angle is dynamic. It's just not all length. So if your hybrid is giving a little bit more, it may bend down more, and you may need to either do a couple of other adjustments to it, or if it's stiffer, it may not bend down at all, and you'd be in good shape. I hope that works. Okay. Boom. There's Al. Hope the foot is feeling better. Well, she's in a boot now, or one of two kinds of boots, and she actually is walking around a little bit better. This is the healing part. That's until we have to unheal her and get her truly fixed, and then she can heal again. Danielle Arsenal, hello. How are you? Duke, what are you saying, Pennsylvania? How much snow did you get, man? Did you survive the snowmageddon? Snow almost gone. Well, look at you. Have you ever tried a snow golf ball? So if so, any thoughts? I've only tried one. This is a fine golf ball. Now, what does that mean? I don't know. It means it's a fine golf ball. It flew just like it was supposed to. I can't say it was any different, any better than any other one. But it basically, what Snell goes on is, it's a price point for equivalent performance, and they're probably pretty correct. There's Krister. Hello, sir. Got the fever, and you've got a fever. I thought you were going to say I got the fever for some more golf, but no. I have the fever and a sore throat. Oh, well, yeah, you want to stay home for that one, especially with all the, I'm surprised sore throat isn't thrown on the list of things for COVID. Everything else is. You did sell the mini driver? Oh, okay. Golf Bitter. Is Golf Bitter just in the UK? I've seen that guy, but or no, that was a different place. It was neat. That they seem to be doing very, very well over there. Good for him. Darren Martell, how are you, sir? Is MOI and swing weight basically the same principle? If pitching wedge is D2, does that translate to maybe I? Maybe a silly question. It is not a silly question, Darren. And no, they don't really translate per se. All right, so I'm going to get nerdy on you guys. Get ready. Here it comes. Nerd alert. Nerd alert. Nerd alert. All right, so swing weight, we know what swing weight is. Swing weight is when you put it on a scale. You put this thing on a scale at I think it's a 11-inch arm, or so, between 11 11 to 14. Anyway, it's an arm. So it rests back in here. This thing sits out here and it balances out here. And it's a relationship. It's a relationship to what you have back here, what's in the middle, and what it weighs. And it's a measure of heft. All right. It is a measure of heft. Now, MOI, moment of inertia, you are measuring a moment, like a moment in time. Okay. It's a moment in time. And what it does is it sits and it does like this. And it swings back and forth. And it measures, it calculates based on, a moment is based on length and weight. All right. And length is by the square where weight is standard. And so once you find out that one moment of inertia, then that's what you want all your clubs to be, much like swing weight. That's probably only where they cross. Okay. Where they cross. Now here's another one. Man, oh man, I'm throwing out all kinds of secrets today. So if you're looking for a true MOI setup, you need your clubs to be, and you're not going to mess with anything, no length weight, or no length adjustments. Then your heads need to be somewhere, instead of 7 grams apart, they need to be closer to 4 grams apart. Now, when you do that, the swing weights won't be the same. They'll get progressively lighter. Okay, that's one way of saying it. They'll get progressively lighter, and because you're only adding 4 instead of 7. Okay, now not by a gross amount by any shape of the imagination, but a little bit. Would you be able to tell? Most people no, some people yes. Now, if you wanted to keep the head weights the same, you would change the lengths by 3/8 of an inch. And then you would be, and as I've seen because I have done, as I've done that, here we go with my putters falling everywhere. As I've done that, the swing weights do change, but ever so slightly. You might lose a swing weight point or two going down the set. So in effect, throw this over there. In effect, they don't change a lot, but no, they're measured differently. They mean something different, but it is a way of making a consistent golf club. Whew. Fred Vornheder, okay. What grip would be good for somebody with bilateral carpal tunnel, perhaps a pure midsize or something else? Wow. Well, I'm not a doctor, Fred, but I do understand carpal tunnel, right? So you're talking about pain, right? You're talking about pain. So, and being able to squeeze, all right? So if you still have strength in the squeeze, but it is still painful, I would recommend a softer grip. All right. Now, bear with me. If I had, you keep using these guys. If you had the softer grips, the reason why I say that is because they mute the vibration. They mute the vibration that will travel up there and cause you a lot of sting. All right. The other one is if you're having trouble closing the hand. If you're having trouble closing the hand, you might want to go a little bit bigger based on the size of your hand in order for you to feel like you're applying that same pressure in order to get there. Now, before everybody starts going, but if it's too big, you won't be able to turn over the club. He won't be able to turn over the club anyway because his hands won't be able to grab it and it'll hurt. And when it hurts, you start making adjustments. And when you make adjustments, your game goes south. So it would be better to hold on to it lightly and let the hand flick in order to get that done. It's kind of a jumbo max philosophy, to be honest with you. And again, that might not be such a bad grip to actually check out. So that's where I would go. All right. Best being about sick is you can eat as much ice cream as you want. I've heard that somewhere before. Darren, should a set of irons be closest to the same overall weight for the best results? Or is it swing weighting that is a better fit? Is one way better than the other? How does it work in your mind? Okay, so overall weight, we'll call it total weight, right? That's the total weight of the club. I measure that when I'm done with the builds. And no, they're not the same weight. It will just say with a set of irons. right? They will functionally, they ought to increase somewhere between 5 and 7 grams as they go up between club. Why is that? Well, you've got the shaft. If they all weigh the same and you're taking off a little bit more tip section, but the same here, see where it's all going, right? And then the head weighs 7 grams more as you go down in order for the swing weights to work out. Now, so as if everything balances out in trimming and the grips are the same and the head's 7, it would think that, well, the total weight is going to be 7 grams. Now it can also be made up in you were a little short on your grip tape. Okay, it could have been you didn't put a lot of glue in one, you put a lot of glue in the other. There's little variations, but it's very, very small. So in this one, I want to see from 4 to pitch, I want to see increasing total weight. Increasing total weight. If I'm doing it right, my swing weights will be the same. Hopefully that helps. Is it possible in theory to build a set of irons using the same heads and same accessories? Frequency each shaft where you want, but no tip weight. Then adjust swing weight using Optivive county weight in the shaft. If you were looking to make the clubs lighter, yes, in swing weight, because you're back weighting. Past my prime. I've been behind watching the videos and Monday discussion. I did catch a couple of the ones of the show. Really enjoyed them. Glad you hear it like it. And yep, we want her back on her feet quickly. Ryan Tracy, hello to you, sir. Kent, got to work on Debbie so you can try early, Robin. Pains of having a younger wife. Yeah, but not by that much. All right. All right, here we go. The Nano is for strong arc swing putter swings. Well, let's take a look at that. So here's what they think. So you see that? Let's see if we get up here. See how it toe dangles? That's for the arc. And that's a lot, really. For them, that's a lot. If there's face balance, that's a lot of toe hang. Versus, I gotta reach and get this one now. Versus this guy, which is not as much. Right? The other one's down here, but that's a little different. They say for strong arcs. I don't know. They're both swinging, so that's it. Don't forget to tell them about the build for Masseyville. I do have to do one. Bob's got he's getting a set of Rogue STs, and they were working pretty good. We'll see how well that works out. All right, Vince. Hey, that was the PGA show this year was going to go, but we moved our shop currently under construction. Maybe next year. Well, honestly, if you're looking for OEMs to see the new clubs and that kind of stuff, you would have been sorely disappointed because there weren't any there other than Bridgestone, and we know that they really don't push the equipment very much. Now, what it did do is allow a lot of smaller club guys that are trying to break in, like Makefield putters, some guys that like Indy who are big with wedges. They got a really high spin wedge. It gives the smaller guy a shot at getting some notoriety. That was the positive part on it. The big push this year was in technology, whether it be launch monitors, simulators, that kind of stuff. That was where the real big push was at. People were releasing new technology left and right, and I truly think we're going to see a lot more of that. We're going to see more people jump into the launch monitor market. We're going to see the launch monitors get with the simulator companies so that they can trade technologies. And I think we'll be we'll be better for it, to be honest with you. All right, James Hodge. Do shaft inserts like Sensicor have a similar have an effect on shaft profile, bounce, and heft, whichever what you want you going to call it. Need to speed it up. Oh, we went by. That means Sonny V's mad at me. Okay, so Sensicor, if you know what Sensicor is, if you think Sensicor is basically like a straw with some window insulation that's about this wide wrapped around it. It's got a grand total of, I think the whole thing weighs like 2 grams. The whole thing weighs 2 grams, and the thing's about this. It's as long as a straw, and you shove it in about a third of the way down the shaft is the best way to describe it. Now, does it mess with anything? With the true balance point, if you had it on a knife's edge and you shoved it in there, yeah, I would probably move it by about that much, right? Will it change the feel? Yes, that's the whole idea of the sensor core. It's to soften the feel. Now, is it doing anything to the shaft per se? No, it's just eating the vibration. That's what it's doing. All right, how much adjustability is in the tri-hop putter? Can you make it toe heavy? Well, if you had the weight kit, and again, I'm learning on this one too. They say that these guys are removable. So yeah, you could probably make it toe heavy to help slow down the toe turn. Yeah. Can you bend it? Yeah, I think you can. That's all stuff I have yet to get into. Received my audited bench rule from GolfWorks today. All right, only took 7 months. I know, dude. Right? For something to measure. Come on, springtime. There you go, man. Well done. All righty, Libra 9. There's a new one. How are you? Hope all is well. Jim, what is your opinion on the Wilson wedges? I've got 2 in my bag. I think they are outstanding, to be honest with you. If you're a digger, I mean, really take some serious divots, I would have reservations with it because it's got a thinner sole, but it has a lot of bounce. And even if you were to take if you're a big divot taker, I think the width of the sole plays more of a decision on what you put in your bag versus what you do not. But if you're just you take a nice easy divot, or you're a person that likes to mess around with it, the thing is awesome. I've shocked a lot of people that didn't think that it would be worthwhile, and I have gone through a ton of those here, and they work. All right, and here's Charles telling you about it. There you go, sir. Well done, Charles. Dillian Quinton. All right, tips on passing the PAT for the PGM program. I will be attempting this spring. Love all that you do. Well, dude, we're kind of in the same boat. Steve was on here. Steve is the guy that let me go golfing with him. We were down at the PGA show, and he is past his. And not so long ago as it sounds, and he had a lot of good tips for me. Because if you watch, I was doing some drills on trying to hit the ball further, or trying to be stronger, with the whole intent of passing this PAT. And he reminded me, and rightfully so, that short game is the way to get it done, right? You can, and the stats prove it. If you look at Pels, half of golf is played inside 150 yards. So if you can become deadly at 150 yards, even if you were punching the driver, you would still do just fine. But that's where I would work from the green to the tee, not the other way around. There's Mr. Mustard. What do you say, sir? Saw a digital version of Golf Digest list. Saw the photo of the 9.7. Yeah, what'd you think, bud? Pretty cool, huh? Emmanuel, there we go. How'd you like that mad shaft? Put a TS3 in a simulator, had better dispersion. We'll field test tomorrow. Yes, let me know. Hey, there's Mr. Scott. Well, I went on. I was doing some testing. I went down to the PGA show, and all I could do was the stretching. right? And the stretching paid off big. Don't get me wrong. Uh, and we did a truckload of walking, but it's nothing like doing the prescribed workouts because, like we were talking about recovering, coming back from the PGA show, I did not jump right back up onto the program, and my numbers show it. I have to get these things. However, I didn't lose as much as I thought I would, which is a plus, and I'm back into it now. So yeah, I mean, I've gained. I can say beyond a shadow of a doubt, I've gained at least 5 yards on my irons, and I've gained at least that much, if not more, in the driver. And if Steve was on here, he would tell you, yeah, I was throwing the driver pretty decent. Ryan, love watching the channel. Thank you, sir. Our GolfWorks club building class is worth going to. Yes. I don't know how. I mean, I can blow a lot of sunshine up your skirt and tell you how good they are, and I would be telling you the truth every bit of the way. I've been to two of them, and every time I think I'm going to go to the third one, I just get busy. But yeah, if you're looking for club making techniques, club making stuff, Jim Yananich is one of the best out there. He's been doing it forever, and he's a good guy. And the guys there are a good guy. I've always threatened to come up there because they're only about an hour and 45 minutes away, hour and a half away. And when the club making class is there, I've always threatened to come up there, and they go, are you sure? Because we probably never get out. All right. Rail Jam Car 2. Well, first live stream I'm catching. Good. Thank you for showing up. Just want to thank you for great content. No problem. Thank you. Started golf in November, and I'm learning. As an engineer. Yeah, you like this kind of stuff. Will you be going back to PGA show next year? Most certainly. I'll be planning on it, unless there's some mass exodus that all the rest of them decide not to go. But yeah, there's probably a lot of behind the doors discussions going on right now, and I hope there are, to at least get half of the OEMs back, and that will bring even more. But yeah, we're going to try. Besides, we have a standing visit with another friend of mine that was in the club making business. I think he still is, Ken. We get down there, and we have a standing a dinner date to get back and catch up with each other. And he's from I kid him, he's from Massachusetts. All right. Hey Brian, what's up? Still playing crazy warm time of the year. Nice. Good for you. New Hampshire. Sorry, New Hampshire. That's the reason why I make fun of him, because I tell him he's from Massachusetts. All right, let's get down here. I'm trying. There we go. Did I miss something? There's things. Two. Okay. The Makefield putters, Tim. I'm getting one in. We're going to see. We're really going to see, because if it did outside what it did there, it's going to be something else. How you doing, Shankomatic? Okay, Ryan, here we go. Is there a significant difference between the TX and X and tipping the X driver shaft? I got a bunch of driver shafts that are tipped 1 inch. Was curious if you would notice a difference in the TX. Well, it depends, Ryan. So it really probably depends on your sense of touch. The difference I would get for you would be is that you probably have the same level of control, but it would feel softer. I'm not sure if that came across exactly the way you wanted to hear it. All right, same performance, just not as harsh. Okay, that would be the difference. All righty, what do we got here? I'm missing some stuff. Here we go. What putter do you have in the bag? Right now, Jock, I have a Peretti, and it's a Teramo, and it was an old belly putter. It's a 400 grammer, and it's a center shafter, and the thing's a sledgehammer. It's awesome. All righty. Miss McGough, you need to turn off the thing. Isaiah, is there any tricks to bringing the spin down? Whoop. Is there any tricks to bringing a spin down a driver shaft? I hit fairways, love the feel. Sitting 35, Project X 6.0, Inflow Tide 110. Any suggestions? Typically, if you're Isaiah, typically if you're spinning like that, is that you're having a negative angle of descent on the club, and it's especially in those big of numbers, and that's what's happening. There's not a whole lot of taking spin off that's going to get you away from that. However, there are a few. So if you're hitting those, but you're hitting high balls, then you know you're hitting that negative angle of attack. What you could do just for the fun of it is get some lead tape and push it to the front, right on the bottom of the sole, just about this far from the face, and watch what happens. Golf, what do you say, buddy? Thank you for showing up. Boom. With respect to SST, puring of shafts, what's more important? One iron shafts or driver's shafts, or both important? Golf in the Golf 007, when it comes to balancing a shaft, it's all important. Okay, that's what I'm going to tell you. Now, you'll probably find more changes, actually, it would be my opinion, in a lot of the iron shafts than you would the drivers, because the drivers are typically graphite, the iron shafts are typically steel, and steel comes with one big spine for it to find, good to go. But sometimes it gets turned. Now, on the driver shaft, there will be either one really heavy spine or several weak spines. You got to find that out. But it makes for, when you're all said and done, it makes for a more consistent golf club, and that's what I'm for. All right. Yes, it did. And they look very nice, and they're less taper, which I dig. All righty. Are there aftermarket adapters for TaylorMade drivers available to lower the loft by 2 degrees? Mike, I don't think so. I think they're all going to stay in the standard area. Nobody's going to go off the range too hard with that one. Although, if I'm going to go off with TaylorMade being an example, they all of a sudden I found out that they have some tour adapters. If you could somehow get to the inner workings of TaylorMade, I would imagine you'll probably find something like that there. Oh, Charles says, excellent idea of having a What's in My Drawers on Valentine's Day. Get it? R. That was a good one, Charlie. Good one. Hopefully not. All righty. Couple more and I got to go, guys. If you need to water the flowers, ditch the live chat. There you go, sir. You guys are awesome. Oh, nicely done. Andrew K., we say, can you explain the heat effect and a movable weight? Can I explain the heat effect and a movable weight? Oh, wait, here we go. One theory is the weight is for shop shape, heel, draw, fade versus moving the weight to your miss side. All right. So if I think I got what you got there is, so moving a weight on a driver, and I just happen to have a driver that doesn't have one. You know, what they used to have, Callaway had one that swung both ways, right? And then TaylorMade had one that went here and then went there. And Mizuno has one that went here and then went in the middle. And so they all had their ways of moving weights. And in every single one of these things, the weight movement is a tweak, right? It is a tweak. It is not a correction. It is a tweak. So if you're drawing the ball, say 15 yards, and you would draw it less, then that would tweak you. And would you hit it straight? Once in a while, like we all do, but it would make your draw less than 15 yards, maybe something more acceptable. Same thing with fades, right? And high and low, depending on some models. And that's what that's for. It's tweaks. And yes, I guess shot shape would be the way to describe it versus helping you miss. Fraser Gerard from Canada, how are you, sir? Snow sucks, and you are correct, sir. Have you ever heard of a black op shaft? Somewhere in my mind, I think I should be saying yes, but for the life of me, I can't recall it. So I'm not sure what that means. It's either I'm getting too old, and I've seen too much, or there really was out there. I seem to remember seeing it, but it didn't last very long. All right, 4 foot. You can have all that, buddy. Will the heat in a car trunk summertime affect the rat glue and inserted driver head? Yeah, it can. As a matter of fact, that's the reason why I don't recommend put them in the trunks of your cars, because not only will it get the rat glue, what I've seen in the past is that I've seen it where driver heads or iron heads have turned because the heat in there has gotten so hot that it's loosened it up and broke it free. And rat glue is way easier to deal with in heat than that ever was. I'm sure it would move. All right. 2 more and I got to go, guys. Frazier is wondering if you have a driver, say, from 2010 to a new driver would compare just talking perfect strikes. I would say if you took, like, say, the Rogue ST and you versed it to a 2010 driver, that if you were on absolute perfect strikes, right in the center of the doggone, center of gravity, right on the perfect thing, and all the other things were perfect, you were hitting it like right in the spot that's that big, right? That big. Would there be much of a difference? No. Right? Not very much at all. There might be a yard or two. That's not where these things make up for forgiveness. All right. Now you got all this, AI faces and for jailbreaks and new carbon facing and twisting and blah, 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 blah. It just keeps going, right? And that's all to make it go so when you're not your best, that it still helps you out. Now, is there something to say about rebound and all that stuff? Yes, absolutely. That's the reason why I say you probably increase a yard or two, maybe 3. But we're talking about dead solid strikes. No more movement than the length of this piece right here. Now you move a quarter of an inch, it's over. The new stuff wins hands down. That's the difference. All righty. Michael, how are you, sir? Steve, Michael? Playing tomorrow morning, first time since New Year's. Cold in North Carolina. It was. We drove back up through. Woo! 14-inch. There you go. I knew somebody would tell me. All right. What is the max you see in differential and lie angles from 4 to most sets? Well, of course, we're seeing the difference from the set from the 4 down. You're going, if it's half-inch increments, then you're seeing half degrees and changes. But if you're going from club to club, how many have they been off? Oh, sorry. Say a new OEM set came in there, I've seen as much as 2 off. All right, Thomas, here we go. If you're using D2 irons, how much should the driver weight be to get what you might be in the same outcome? Typically what we've been seeing now, Thomas, is around D0. D2 has been about 2 swing weights, D4, D2, D2, D0, about the same. All righty. Michael Barber, how are you? From the Derby in UK. Nice. I'm glad to see you guys made it over. We will have one, Paul. Now we're kind of in that therapy mode, right? I haven't got the iron yet, but we're working on it. All right, last one. One of the best videos that you've done, it was when you were at Golf Works with Jim. Yeah. I tell you what, he's something else. And he's got his opinions, and I love him for it. He's just a super good guy. Will tell you anything. He'll absolutely tell you anything, and we will banter back and forth about the sciences of it. But he has the advantages of having all the different kinds of stuff, and that chart that he came up with is really cool. It really, really is. Okay. Well, guys, I made it to half an hour. I'm way over yet again, and it's been actually a lot of fun. It really has. It's been a truckload of fun, and I appreciate the fact that you guys are asking me all these questions. I really do like it. Again, if you remember, like and subscribe. Please like and subscribe. We need to get this out further and get the channel out a little further. Also, hit the bell for notifications. If you haven't, oh, you know what? And I should have had this thing running the whole time. There you go. Smash the bell. Instagram, Facebook, check us out on that if you would, just to put it out there a little bit more. And that way I can start putting videos out there on Facebook as well. Also, if you guys are out there, I just last week started posting on Rumble. That's outside of these guys, but that's where we went just to put my toe in the water. And again, guys, always thank you so very much. We'll talk about it again on next Monday. Watch for the video tomorrow. And as always, let's see your scores go low.